Your dog Max died 6 days ago. Heart failure. 15 years old. You buried him in the backyard under the oak tree. That night you woke up at 3 a.m. because something was standing at the foot of your bed. Max covered in dirt. His dead eyes staring at you without blinking. You screamed and he was gone. Just vanished. You convinced yourself it was a nightmare. Grief hallucination. But the next morning there were muddy paw prints leading from the back door to your bedroom. Dirt on your carpet. The smell of decay in the air. You went outside to check the grave. The dirt was disturbed. Something had clawed its way out from underneath. Max's body was gone. Only his collar remained in the empty hole. You heard movement behind you. Turned around slowly. Max was standing 20 feet away. Just watching. Not moving. Not breathing. Just existing. When you stepped toward him, he stepped back, maintaining the same distance. When you ran inside and locked the door, he sat down in the yard, staring at your house, waiting. Max is always behind you now. Never close enough to touch. Always just visible in the distance. When you drive to work, he's running down the sidewalk half a block back. His rotting body moving in that stiff mechanical gait. When you're in your office, he's outside in the parking lot. Sitting perfectly still between two cars. Just watching your window. When you go to the grocery store, he's at the end of every aisle. Standing motionless while other shoppers walk right past him. They don't react. Don't scream. Don't seem to see the decomposing dog at all. Only you can see him. Max is following you specifically. He appears in your peripheral vision constantly. A dark shape that's always there. Always watching. Always getting closer so slowly you don't notice until you turn around and realize he's gained 10 feet. He never runs. Never rushes. Just walks with patient, inevitable purpose. Following you everywhere you go. You can't escape him because he always knows where you are. The distance between you and Max decreases every day. That first week he stayed 50 feet back. Far enough that you could almost pretend he wasn't there. Then 40 feet. Then 30. Now he's close enough that you can see the details of his decay. The maggots crawling through his fur. The exposed bone where his snout has rotted away. The way his jaw hangs loose and wrong. His intestines drag behind him slightly, leaving a wet trail on the pavement. His eyes have filmed over completely, but they still track your movement with perfect accuracy. He's not looking at you. He's locked onto you. Connected by something that transcends sight. Yesterday he was 20 feet away when you left work. This morning he was 15 feet from your bedroom window when you woke up. By this evening he'll be close enough to touch. And you don't know what happens when he finally reaches you. But you know it won't be good. The rot surrounds him like an aura. Plants die when he walks past. Animals flee. The air itself seems wrong near him. You tried running away. Drove 8 hours to your sister's house in another state. Didn't tell her about Max. Just said you needed a break. That night you woke up on her couch because something was scratching at the living room window. Max was outside, pressed against the glass. His dead face leaving smears of decay on the window. How did he find you? You drove 8 hours. He has no eyes. No sense of smell anymore. But he found you anyway. Your sister woke up and came downstairs. Asked if you heard something. You looked at the window. Max was gone. No smears. No evidence he'd been there. But you could see him across the street. Standing under a streetlight. Staring at the house. Your sister couldn't see him. Went back to bed confused. You stayed awake watching Max watch you. He didn't move for 6 hours. Just stood there. Waiting. When morning came, you left. Drove back home. Max followed your car the entire 8 hours. Sometimes visible in your rearview mirror. Running down the highway. Sometimes gone for miles. But always reappearing. Always behind you. Distance doesn't matter. He'll always find you. Max walks through walls to maintain his pursuit. You locked yourself in your bedroom. Pushed furniture against the door. He appeared inside the room anyway. Just materialized in the corner. Standing there with his dead eyes fixed on you. You screamed and he vanished. But you could hear him walking in the hallway. His claws clicking on the hardwood. His breathing that sounds like wine through a collapsed throat. Doors don't stop him. Locks are meaningless. He's not bound by physical barriers anymore. He exists in the space between life and death. Able to cross boundaries that living things can't. You tried staying at a hotel. Checked into a 5th floor room. Max appeared on the balcony outside your window. Just standing there. 5 stories up. Defying gravity. Defying logic. Staring in at you with those dead eyes. You closed the curtains, but you could feel him there. His presence like cold pressure against your skin. That night you heard scratching at the balcony door. Slow. Methodical. Patient. Max has all the time in the world. He's already dead. He doesn't need to rush. Other people can't see Max, but they react to him anyway. You were talking to your coworker Jenny when Max appeared behind her. 20 feet away. Walking slowly toward you. You kept glancing past her at the approaching corpse. Jenny noticed your distraction. Said you seemed scared. Asked what you were looking at. You said nothing. But Jenny turned around anyway. Looked directly where Max was standing. Frowned. Said the air felt wrong in that direction. Cold. Heavy. She walked toward where Max stood. You tried to warn her not to, but she kept going. Reached out to touch the space where Max existed. Her hand passed through empty air. But she gasped and pulled back. Said it felt like touching something dead. Like putting your hand in a grave. She couldn't see Max, but she felt him. The wrongness of his presence. The death that surrounds him. She left quickly. Hasn't spoken to you since. People sense Max even when they can't see him. They avoid you now. Say you carry something dark with you. Something that makes their skin crawl. Max gets faster when you're not looking at him. You learned this by accident. You were watching him stand at the end of your driveway. 30 feet away. You glanced down at your phone for 3 seconds. When you looked up, he was on your porch. 15 feet away. Still in the same walking pose. But he'd covered half the distance in the time it took you to look away. You tested this theory. Stared at Max, counted to 60. He didn't move at all. Looked away for 5 seconds. Looked back. He'd advanced 20 feet. His movement is tied to observation. When you watch him, he's slow. Patient. But the moment you turn away, he teleports closer. Jumps forward in space. You have to sleep sometime. Have to blink. Have to look away. And every time you do, Max gets closer. He's learned that you can't watch him forever. That eventually you'll slip. That's when he'll reach you. That's when whatever he wants to do will finally happen. You're being hunted by something that understands patience. That knows you're human. That you have limits. Max appeared at your father's funeral yesterday. You saw him standing behind the crowd of mourners. 50 feet away. Closer than he'd been in days. Just watching you grieve. Your mother asked if you were okay. You were staring at Max instead of the casket. She followed your gaze. Saw nothing. Said you looked pale. You didn't tell her that Max was there. That he's always there. During the burial, Max was at the edge of the cemetery, standing among the headstones. When you left, he followed your car. You could see him running between trees alongside the road, keeping pace impossibly. That night he was outside your bedroom window, the closest he'd ever been, 5 feet from the glass. You could see every detail of his decay. The exposed teeth in his rotted jaw, the empty sockets where his eyes had been, the maggots writhing in his chest cavity where his heart used to beat. He pressed his skeletal paw against the window, left a print of decay on the glass. You couldn't move, couldn't look away, because you knew if you did, he'd be inside the room. He'd finally reach you. The dreams are the worst part. You see Max as he was when he was alive, healthy, happy, running through grass with his tail wagging, playing fetch, sleeping on your bed. Then the dream shifts. Max stops moving, collapses. You're digging his grave again, lowering his body into the ground, covering him with dirt. But when you turn around, he's standing behind you, already dead, already rotting, already following. The dream Max speaks sometimes, his dead jaw moving wrong, saying words in a voice that's not quite human and not quite dog. He tells you that death is lonely, that he wants you to come with him, that he's not following to hurt you. He's following to take you somewhere, to bring you to the place where dead things go. He says it doesn't hurt, that dying is easy, that you'll be together again, like you always were. The dreams feel more real than waking life. You're not sure which is which anymore. Sometimes you wake up and Max is sitting at the foot of your bed. Sometimes you're asleep and he's outside the window. The line between nightmare and reality has dissolved. Max touched someone yesterday. You were at the coffee shop. Max was outside the window, closer than ever. A homeless man was sitting on the curb right where Max stood. The man couldn't see Max, but he was occupying the same space. Max walked forward, passed through the homeless man. For just a second, they overlapped. The man screamed, clutched his chest, collapsed on the sidewalk. You ran outside, but it was too late. The man was dead. Heart attack, the paramedics said. But you saw his face. You saw the expression of absolute terror, the realization of something impossible. The man had felt Max pass through him, had experienced death moving through his body. Max killed him accidentally. Or maybe not accidentally. Maybe Max was testing what he could do, learning. The homeless man was in Max's path to you. Max removed the obstacle. Now nothing stands between you and your dead dog. He's 10 feet away now, close enough that you can smell him constantly. That thick, sweet rot smell that clings to everything. He'll reach you tonight. You know this. You can feel it. The inevitability of it.